Hello, hello, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Submitted for Your Approval, the weekly card review show for the collective card game, where your cards can get into the game. I'm joined today by, I think this is our first episode where we have the panel we're supposed to have, the guest.
The guest.
Yeah, and again.
So, I'm joined today by my faithful co-host, Grief.
Howdy, folks.
And our new permanent third panelist, Midfielder.
Hello.
And today we're joined by a guest, WujekMarian, who is the in the last Battle for WanderStar. He actually got first place in the recent new meta tournament by Shadow Knight, so congrats.
Thank you. Greetings. And also, you tried your best with that name pronunciation. I can appreciate it.
What is it?
It's Polish. Just don't worry about
I'm actually half Polish. I know nothing of my culture. I tried.
You tried your best.
You can teach me later. So let's just one cool thing I did want to talk to you guys all about, and I will include a link in the description. Community member LunaticDancer has done something cool. He's doing this fun little project where he's taking each realm in WanderStar, or in Collective, and coming up with a little music theme for it. So he's coming up with an album that's kind of like this pastiche of different realms, little instrumental themes. So I'm going to include a link to that in the description. It's really cool. Check it out. I enjoyed it. He's only done 2 so far, but I'm sure it'll get really awesome.
Ungweer and Walnut.
Yeah, he's done Ungweer and Walnut. So let's hop into it. Training Slimage, or with the accepted submissions first. Training Slimage is a 2-drop mine 2/2 ooze Arcanist from nowhere in particular. With summon, create a slime blast in your hand. What is a slime blast? It is a 1-drop mind action with the spell type. That's fun. And exhaust and deal 2 damage to a unit. So it's like a mini mesmerize. Without the silence, which is probably the most powerful part of it, which is good. I think it's neat, and I think it's balanced. I do think this card is maybe a little bit powerful, which is good. We want powerful cards in the game. I also think it is cute. So this Amber Rhino, I haven't seen them before, so I'm going to assume they're new. Congrats on getting a card into the game. This card's really pretty. What do we think about it? I'll let you start, Empty.
Yeah, it's just sort of a solid 2-drop. I think it most likely fits into Vertrek decks, just because the exhaust thing is usually sort of more control-oriented. But I guess you could put it into like Ash decks and then use the exhaust offensively in order to like get attackers through. Yeah, not much else to say. It's just sort of a solid 2-drop unit.
Yeah. What do you think, Grief?
Basically a simple common. 2 cost 2/2, nothing much to say about it. Gets you an action that can be hit by a tinfoil shooter, which is running around like rampant, yeah. Since he can now finally hit promos doubloons. So this will be a little bit awkward to use with Slime Blast, but other than that, yeah, nice addition. I like the spell tribe, since maybe we can do something with that in the future on actions.
You have anything further to add, Wujek?
This card actually slots really well into action spam Vrictic, as it's a 2-cost unit that you can play early and add your 1-cost action to your hand. It essentially fulfills the same niche as Magic Dave in that regard. That will probably be the deck to run it when it finally rotates in.
Yeah.
Especially since the spell that you get itself is very strong. It's a 1-cost deal 2 damage and exhaust.
Yeah.
That can also allow your mana mites to push through sometimes by just exhausting one of your blockers. It's definitely a strong card.
Do we think this will, for Mind Heroes only, do you think this will push Pancat off of the list, or is Pancat going to be run in addition to this?
Well, I don't think Pancat is really run in action spam Vrictic at all right now, because you have Plasma Splish that deals. Sorry, you're a very good pinger. And then also there's the other one. I think it's the Stare card that got in this week that deals 1 damage with fast and rebound. So now you have 2 pinging options for action spam. So
and then this one exhausting, maybe pulling the bigger tool off the board for a turn. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so this is Grief's pick from the Accepteds. And Misfortune Dragon is a 3-drop strength 3/4 dragon from nowhere in particular with summon guess if your deck's top card cost is odd or even. If correct, this gains Duelist. So dragons have always been kind of weird in the past, kind of struggling to find their identity. One of the things they'd done for a while was manipulating the top of the deck and doing shenanigans with that. Since you designed the card, I'll let you talk about it first, Wujek.
Right, so obviously this is a play on Fortune Dragon. Flipped stats, different keyword, same effect, basically. Though, unlike Fortune Dragon, which is basically just a beat stick, this is an early game board control tool, which is something that Dragon decks really, really lacked. Basically, if you played a Dragon deck, you had no form of board interaction until around turn 4 to 5 when you would be able to play Plasma Dragon. Now, Misfortune Dragon can be dropped around turn 3, turn 4, and it's a free for Duelist, which is the highest stat line a Duelist currently has in the game. And it's also one of the few Duelists that can trade into a free attack unit and still live. Another worth thing to note is that it's a free drop, which means that it has the potential to curve with Ambitious Medic, which gets you a 3/6 regenerate. The dream curve right now for Dragon decks is Dragon Totem on turn 2, have that Dragon Totem live, and on turn 3, you tap the Dragon Totem, scour 2, you know what the top card of your deck is, then you play Ambitious Medic, and you coin out Misfortune Dragon for a 3/6 regenerate on turn 3.
Of course, yeah, you have to do something to do that. I love the idea with Ambitious Medic because that gives you basically a gem hide. You know, you have your own little relentless gem hide pretty quickly, minus the life bond, obviously. So that's really neat. What do you think of it, Grief?
I basically picked that card because it's the only actually good dragon that we had in recent memory, and also the only good dragon in that week that actually got into the game. And it, as Wujek already said, it fills the niche perfectly that dragons currently lack, like early game interaction altogether. Most of our early dragons are just either flying beat sticks that potentially can fly, or do basically nothing.
That's neat. Do you have anything further to add, Empty?
Yeah, I just think it's a very important card for Dragon decks to have, because so far there hasn't really been any really good payoffs early game until this got in. And hopefully Rutilus will get in and they'll have the late game payoff as well. But having something that comes online earlier is really important for the deck to be viable.
Yeah. So, exciting stuff. This is going to be what Empty Folder picked from the Accepted, and I am so glad this got in. The Grand Ginkgo. I've read this to you guys before, but let's go. 5-drop Spirit, 3/7 plant from Mentera. Whenever you gain HP, choose a friendly plant to gain the same amount. Whenever a friendly plant is destroyed, shuffle it back into your deck. So this is maybe a step toward making plants more viable, giving them more tools. I mean, they already have quite a few tools in Coliseum where the AI is dumb as rocks. So I'm going to play this card either way. I win. So, Empty, why'd you pick it? Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear what everyone else has to say about it. I talked about it a bit in my review, and the only real use that I could find for this card was that you play this turn 5 and then beat Monitor turn 6, and then you're functionally immortal as long as you have those 2 cards out, which doesn't help you win the game necessarily, but it does help you not die, which is nice.
Well, you win the game by not losing longer than your opponent.
But like you do need to win eventually, unless your plan is to just wait them out until they run out of cards. which
Well,
I guess that's one plan.
You're dat. If you're doing this, you're dat. You have a 7 toughness. You're functionally immortal. Like, it doesn't do much except you're functionally immortal. Come on, man.
Yeah, but being functionally immortal isn't really enough anymore. You need to be able to win the game.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can wait until, like, you're level 4 and try and win with that. But, like, if your opponent's just, like, building up their board the whole time, like, eventually they'll be able to push through. And if one thing hits for 12 damage, you do lose your combo, because then you can't heal up the beetroot again.
No. So, Wujek, what did you think of this one?
Another thing worth noting with the beat Ginkgo combo is that if the opponent is running literally any burn, they can just hit the beat monitor instead of your face. And the beat monitor will be slowly whittled down to a point where even an attacking for free will just make it die.
Yeah. And the other thing, though, you got to remember is if you're running plants, you're running Pumpkinkin, you're running Sweetest, and you're running Mass. So, plenty of fun, creative shenanigans you can do with Ginkgo. Or you could just get both of the legendaries and make them into a mega legendary, you know? I know. Long shot, fun, jank, single stuff. Shoot me. Anyways, Grief, go.
Basically, everything that has to do with jank was already mentioned. This card could probably slot into a penumbra version of the pure control deck that Aiden was running, which is basically like a slow, grindy, loop-ish control deck which reutilizes its peers and whatever to basically grind you out with 5-cost actions. So giving you functional immortality in that deck is basically something cute you can do on the side to get there in time. But overall, this card has one flaw, and that's basically the flaw in every card game that did something like that. As Empty pointed out, yeah, sure, you cannot die, but that doesn't mean you cannot lose or win. So, HP is just one other version of one other thing that you can bank as a resource of, and if there's enough damage on the board or enough ways to clear the board, this doesn't do much.
Might I also add, Washburn is in the game, so just living for literally forever, again, it's a permo deck, is also not gonna win you the game because they would just get Washburn down, get all the 10 doubloons, win the game on the spot. This has a very cute synergy, by the way, with Thicket of Thorns in the place decks. It's cute. It's not good, but it's cute.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go over here now. Hearty Egg. This is a 1-drop neutral 0/1 food, hopefully soon to be cosmetic updated egg. With Entomb, create 2 hearty breakfasts, just in case you forgot what those are. That's a feed +1/+1, with a little bit too many words on the card. So foods, Hope's Hollow, cool stuff. Grief, you were the only one who hasn't gone first yet, so you get to go first.
Cute, it's a food. It gets you hearty breakfast. Those cards should have already costed only 0. Get on it, folks. On the other hand, food synergies. What much can you say about it? I mean, it makes your sweet dragon better because it's a food, and when it dies, it gives you added benefit for each food in your graveyard. But yeah, I think food decks are like the most obvious thing.
Yeah, the pig's gonna really have a field day with this.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's 3 procs. Yeah. So like, come on.
Yeah, the pig. I know you've read the commentary because the eater of food or devourer of food was made as a food finisher, as a win condition for that food deck. Yeah, you're running a food for pig.
Okay. MT, do you have any non-sarcastic commentary?
I find it really funny that this can attack.
Oh.
Yep. That's the reason I picked it.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so if you run this on Heldem, you can attack with it turn 2. Your passive.
Yeah.
I think it also it fits fairly decently in like a sort of self-sack food deck with stuff like Bloodletter, and then you have more max mana, so you can play some more units that turn.
Is this an equipment deck support card?
Yeah, we could do like held him eat and beat, right? With food in one hand and equipment in the other.
More like full ham held him.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Wujek, this is a simple card. You got anything else you want to go on?
Most things have already been said on. It doesn't have can attack, so it can attack. It can proc Heldem.
Yeah.
As passive turn 2. However, this is a very important card for food decks. Food decks have been lacking gas, basically. Like, with food decks, you just spam out your food, spam out your cute little units, and then you run out of cards to play. And then you cry. And then you die. This is 3 cards in one, and this is 3 foods in one. If you just play this, and the 2 tokens generate, that's +3/+3 to every unit you play after Sweet Dragon, which is huge.
Yeah.
And again, Bloodletter synergy to just sack it, get to mana. And also, because it can attack, it is also a good unit in food decks because you can buff it up with food effects, and it's just a 1-cost unit that just can attack.
Okay, so getting into the the open submissions, which winner decided on this? Was this Sidewalk's idea?
I think it was Risky.
Yep.
Oh, this is Risky's. Okay, so Risky wanted to do, because he always wants to do the degenerate DCs like with the Tutors DC, decided to go do a cost changing DC because those effects are fun to balance. And this is actually one I kind of advised on the Card Lab, so I really wanted to talk about this because I'm excited for this. I really hope it gets in, guys. 30's where it ought to be. This is getting in, so let's just accept it as fact now. The Yamato Omamori is a 1-drop neutral equipment from Yamato with give a unit +1/+1 and reduce the cost of units that share a tribe with it by 1 until the end of the turn. Yay! Tribal filler in neutral and also a pretty decent equipment. I could easily see slotting this into my, who did I steal it from? It's an old Wham list, but it's equipments. And then I was going to make it more vampire-y, and so this could go good into maybe the vampire thing with Cortez. This could go in a lot of things. Grief, what are some of those things?
Put it into a mind deck because you have access to Rare Fate as a combo, Rare Materia and Whims of Fate, because Rare Materia, How the Mighty Have Fallen, can actually, whenever you draw a card, reduce its cost by 2, but cannot reduce the cost below 1.
Mm-hmm.
This gets around it. To the point where you could actually put this into, if they ever become good, into Fish deck or Dune Walkers and basically spam out cards. Especially when you have Dune Walkers that actually draw you units.
Yep.
Any archetype that has a way to draw you cards can refuel more units for you. You can also put this in a Sky Totem deck, depending on what your most represented tribe is, which together with Sky Totem not just reduces the cost of your flying units, but also of the units that share the same tribe. Basically, dragons would fall under that category because most of them are flyers and they share the dragon tribe, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of flexibility that you can do with this card.
Yeah. Wujek, you got anything?
If you ever wanted to just spam out all of your 1-cost Lizabos in a single turn, this is a card for that. Which there are a lot of 1-cost Lizabos. And Lizabos are generally very low costed. and their strength, so you can run all the equipment support. So maybe if you want to play an equipment Lizabo list,
like a
that
go
could happen.
wide. Ooh, I like that.
Especially since a lot of equipments actually have Lizabo's synergy. Like Blazing Shurikens, for example, triggers all your when this damages thing triggers, and Rutox. I believe it's when a Lizabo kills a unit, it creates a tent, correct?
Yeah. Or
So
makes your tent
Rutox
bigger.
could actually see play in Lizabo lists, as not just a haha card because it's a Lizabo.
MT, you have anything further to add?
I really like these sort of cards that help all tribal decks in general, since it just makes it easier for those decks to be viable, which they historically have had a hard time doing.
Yeah, and that's actually something I've been pushing for in like Carthian with Fresbane, and the Morphemes are a really cool addition to that. I want to see more designs like that.
Let's not talk about Frismane.
I wanted so much more for her. It was just the design that got in.
Just a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah. Okay. So fun story. Somebody it was you, MT. Yeah. You forgot to or you decided to hand one of your picks to me and it went to Trackula. So, Trackula time. Oh no. This is sorry. That's later. Someone just wanted to talk about who wanted to talk about Trackula? Grief wanted to talk about Trackula. Trackula is a 3-drop spirit, 2/3 toon vampire from Karchar, agile, life bond, agile, costs 1 less. Neat. Grief, why'd you pick this?
Because it's so fun.
It's funny. It's cute. I like the cute.
First of all, it's funny enough that this is our second to third-ish agile meta support card, because we have actually agile meta support cards in mind. The demons of the pace and speed demon. But on the other hand, I mean, it goes into Hiko decks, which is funny enough. It will basically make reduce the cost of other Trackulas that you have. It will make your revenants cost less, so you can just spam out multiple. And since it's a vampire, maybe you can actually make something with a tribal deck if you're playing Penumbra. But yeah, this has so much potential and it's such a cute card.
Yeah, it curves neatly into Revenant, which is the one thing I noticed, and it'll be pretty interesting. I don't know, and this is something I've talked with Shadow a lot about, a lot of his designs. I don't know if there's that critical mass. But you just said Hiku, and that actually convinces me maybe I was a little bit wrong on that. Because this helps build, Hiku gives you critical mass in the deck you're running it. Empty, what you got for me?
Not too much else. The Hiku synergy is pretty interesting. But like you said, I still don't think there's like quite enough good agile units in Spirit. Maybe in KM you could do something interesting.
Yeah, possibly. People agree with you and I, Empty, on the critical mass question. No, I think this is all
the thing is, if people are still complaining about the critical mass, why not just upvote it to help out the critical mass? Come on, folks.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, and I mean, it is a DC card too, so it's not like it's taking up spots in the league.
And that's always a strong motivation to vote for it. You got anything else for us, Wujek?
Not really much to say that hasn't already been said. If for some reason you're running Mind, Spirit, Penumbra, and Bullock, you can make all your June Walkers cost 1 less. I don't know why.
That is fun! That was...
As I said, if you're playing the demons as well, those units all cost less. They are stronger and have fast.
Okay.
It's a cute card. It has a lot of potential.
This is good. So, last... Oh, that was an ad. Play Vindictive.
We are not sponsored, by the way.
We are not sponsored by Vindictus. I've never played it before, but maybe check it out. Crowd Control Bot is a 10-drop Mind 4/5 robot from nowhere in particular. Ambush, summon, deal 3 damage to an attacking enemy unit. Play this if an enemy unit attacks, if able. This costs 1 less for each enemy unit. So that wording there gave me a headache a little bit. It took me a while to parse what this card actually did. And that should be on a separate line, but I'm guessing they just ran out of space because it's a rare. This is interesting. Is this the kind of tool that Mind really needs right now? Wujek, you go first. You were irritable.
That is a good question. Let's be honest. This is not just a Mind card. In every other affinity, it costs just 1 more, and it's a card that discounts itself.
Yeah.
That being said, is it a good Mind card? That's debatable. It probably wouldn't see play in Mind decks, especially since Ashgardy doesn't want this. Like, Ashgardy is more aggressive. Ashgardy doesn't want this at all. Drictic does tend to be a bit more controlly, but just prefers the fog than board clear way of answering the board, or just action spamming.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't fit into a Drictic deck either. It is a robot, so there is some cute robot synergy if the Yamato discount card gets in, and in fact, there's some really cute Herald synergy in general with this card.
Yeah.
It's just a big ambusher with a discount. Is it good?
And it's got a fireball attached to it, I guess.
Yeah, it does have a fireball attached to it. And from what the wording says, I assume this can block after the enters play the same turn.
It's a
Just
cult
like
drops
Danger
effect.
Noodle.
It's like it's a cult drops effect.
Yeah.
So it's a 4/5 blocker that deals 3 damage. It's basically Danger Noodle, but with +1 attack and fireball attached to it.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Empty?
The reason I picked this card is that compared to like Caltrops and the snake, I really like the counterplay potential with this card. Like the fact that you have to play it, and then it costs 1 less for each enemy unit. Like your opponent can like tell when, okay, maybe they have crowd control bot, and then they send out their 1/1 to attack, so you have to play it, and then that gets fireball, and then they kind of blow out your play.
Yeah.
It's this really interesting like outplay potential that I really like on it.
Yeah, and Corn mentioned that in the comments. How it was wanted to make it more palatable by force playing it itself, not giving you the option, bogging down the game with choose windows, which has always been a personal pet peeve of mine. Grief, do you have anything else to add?
I personally like it for potential control KM list, because KM can also easily run stuff like Snap Rebuke as a 2-cost interaction due to the cost reduction that she gains when she's changing into Mind, and she carries those reductions over the multiple turns as long as she's not playing a Mind card. Therefore, she can actually stack that effect. She can actually keep that effect for a potential turn where she wants to interact with the board. In Magical Christmas Wonderland, let's say your opponent has 5 units, you're changing into this already costs 5 mana. Changing into your other form, you are looking at a 3-cost Fireball Ambusher.
Yeah. Always with those KM interactions with you with the cost reduction. But yeah.
It's one of our most interesting parts, so why not?
I do hope that they thought of that with the way that this effect was blocked, because you got to make sure that it doesn't like lose like buffs it would have had or something like that. Okie dokie then. Now into the non-DC submissions. Catfish is a 2-drop neutral 3/1, and the tribe line is Catfish. It has summon, choose a fish to destroy. The next fish you play costs 1 less mana. The reason I wanted to talk about this card, no joke, if I covered up the bottom line there, I thought this was Genocat's art. Like, with the level of detail that went into it, I thought this is really pretty. And this is, I guess, a new player. And I was so excited. And then I read the card, and I got a little sad. And I don't know. Like, how do we, I just want to hold up the Catfish to you and be like, how do we fix this? MT, do you know how we fix this?
I think kind of go back to the drawing board. You have the art, and the art is amazing.
Art is beautiful.
Like, silver bullet type cards aren't really that popular, especially against tribal decks that aren't that great right now even. Yeah.
Someone was bringing up that maybe just remove the choose a fish to destroy, and then you got like another like 3/1, like in Magic we call that a piker or something like that. I can't remember what we call it. And then you also got that next fish you play costs a little less. You think that would be good? If it didn't have that unnecessary destroy clause?
It would definitely be better.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe go back to the drawing board with the effect. The art is beautiful, though. Grief, do you have anything to say about it?
I mean, the choose destruction effect is pretty irrelevant on this card. Yeah, it's unnecessary balance on the card.
Yeah.
Since if your opponent is not playing any fish, it's destroying your own.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's the only fish, it kills itself. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Wujek, what about you?
It's also worth noting that even if, here's the thing. If you destroy a friendly fish, this is a rock puncher.
Yeah.
Yeah. For 2.
This is a rock puncher that you cannot play on turn 1. Even if the destruction effect is cut, it would still just be a fish rock puncher that you cannot play turn 1.
So yeah, back to the drawing board. I just wanted to take a minute and appreciate the love and care that went into this art. So this one was my extra slot. Oh, I skipped this one. I skipped this one, guys. I'm not skipping this one. Time to get demonetized. I don't know if I'm monetized or not. The Pass is a 4-drop strength food from Karachar with feed destroy a unit. I don't know. Did we talk about this one before, Evergrief?
No, but I saw it and I basically just raised eyebrows when we collected the picks for this show, and I just thought myself, what the fuck went wrong? Now you're getting demonetized.
So my question with this was like, can we do this? Because I'd like to believe that maybe this kind of effect could have existed before, but and then Ring the Bell happened, and now I'm thinking we can't print this effect. I don't think this effect can get into the collection now because it just leads itself to so much degeneracy. And I don't really know if this thing has a place, and I kind of want it to because I think it's neat. Well, more food. I'm always for more food. Wujek, I'll let you talk first on this one.
Well, as you mentioned, Ring the Bells happened. And this is a targeted destruction effect that you get on every unit you play after it, which can lead to serious degeneracy, as you said. If more Hope's Hollow cards ever get in, this would become stronger and stronger. I feel like this could easily reach this critical mass of just 0-cost units you can play after it to basically clear the opponent's board. It's a very strong effect on a feed card to have. Right now, probably wouldn't be that bad, since Ring the Bells is the only card that actually synergizes with it in a terrifying way.
No.
In the future, could be like a lot scarier.
Yeah, I think this might limit like the available design space we have a little bit too much. Empty, would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I feel like this is nearly impossible to balance with like ring the bell and stuff, because it's either going to be low cost. Food is in a weird place where like it gets much worse the higher cost you make it. So I feel like this is going to be in the place where it's either too low cost and you can like clear your opponent's board with it really easily, or it's just so high cost that the only time it's even worth playing is with Ring the Bell.
Yeah. Grief, you have any closing notes?
I mean, this was even powerful for older format standards. Like, and we had only partial food support during that times. But no, Ring the Bell is not the only issue. Every time you can actually loop zero-cost units in a deck, this can actually wipe a board. I mean, people are currently experimenting with Ronin-less king loops by casting stuff with Archer. This just slots in as well. Oh yeah, okay, there's a board that I don't want to deal with. They have duelists. Might just play that.
Yeah, and you don't even really need king. I mean, you don't even need the king part of the king combo. You can do this with like 2 solar snakes, or like
two zero costs, or 1 0 cost and 1 normal costed kilometerage and whatever. The moment you can actually loop stuff or multicast stuff with this card, especially with more food support later down the line, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just really impressive control, because like you said, if you get a couple helping hands and then you get 2 zero-cost kilometerges, you can't play units anymore until one of those kilometerges goes away. It's just done.
Yeah, I didn't really think about this in king combo. That is
nice
pretty nasty.
Idiot.
It
Nice
might make
bullshit.
it. I mean, it's a board wipe for king combo. Okay, now we get to, I talked earlier about having an extra pick, and then my brain totally glitched out. But those are the fun moments for the show. This was the pick that Empty donated to me. And this is beautiful. At least art-wise, and I think effect-wise. Anuraq the Announcer is a 5-drop mine 2/3 avatar guardian from nowhere in particular. With flying ward, your flying units have +1/+1, and opponent's units in play lose flying. Yay. I like this. Does anyone not like this?
Sort of me.
Empty, why don't
I
you like this?
Because, I mean, it basically just gives all your flying units unblockable.
Yeah.
And, like, it has ward. So there's, like, 2 levels of not being able to interact with it.
So it's non-interactive, maybe it could lose the war.
Yes.
You're saying. But, like, the other thing is, maybe, I mean, especially if we build out this flying support, Frank has been trying so hard to make that happen. We need maybe a little bit of flying hate, and it's interesting to see a flying lord that's also flying hate gives some interesting counterplay, and Grief is smiling like the sun. Because disruption, or I don't know. We'll ask him in a bit. I want to know from the other naysayer. Wujek, talk to me.
Oh no, I'm gonna let Grief talk first, because just
Grief.
yesterday he built a Penumbra flyer deck, and that I'm pretty sure that's what he wants to talk about right now. So go right ahead.
Penumbra Flying is a shitty deck. But when it works, your opponent will not have the most fun time he ever had. If you find something as uninteractive like King Combo Degenerate, okay, for sure, that's true. But have you ever seen a dude dump his entire hand of flyers because of a sky totem and look down a board of 2 to at least 3 or 4 units of the sandstorm cricket, or what a card is called, a sandswarm? Yeah, this just gives more power to that. It gives you more evasion. Like, it's hilarious. Sure, I mean, you could drop Void. At that point, it should probably cost 4 because at 5 it's a little too slow. But still, this is inbuilt evasion for your entire deck plan. To the point where, okay, now on my penumbra list, I don't even care anymore if I just hit one of my 3 of you cards in my 70 card deck. If I hit that thing, I also win. And Wujek knows how degenerate that deck is because he watched me like half an hour to an hour play that stupendous pile of junk.
So, what are your other comments then, Wujek?
As we've already noted, I have watched that deck. Basically, if you draw Sky Totem with that, you just win. Now you don't have, if this would get in, you don't have to draw Sky Totem. You can just draw Anuraq and then you also win. And the interactivity problem is also there, obviously. It gives everything you have unblockable, essentially.
Yeah.
And, well, unless they have units with leap, but we all know how common leap is as a keyword.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's especially interesting in the mirror because it's got this clause, and I don't know. I'm a fan, but I see.
I loved it. I love that card.
Yeah.
Don't see any flaw in it.
I love that card, but I hate it.
Okay. The midfielder. Ooh, Enzu, what did you do to that beautiful Fetus art? The midfielder is a 1-drop strength 1/1 human athlete from nowhere in particular. With when this is blocked, frenzy 1, then tag out for another athlete in the deck. So, soccer? This is soccer. Oh wait. Football.
It's the same thing depending on what language.
Yeah.
This has multiple issues.
Yeah.
First of all, is not half a bad edit, but did you actually ask Fadus to do an edit on that? Because there are multiple artists that basically said you can use their art, but don't edit it. Even I said that you can actually make color shifted versions of my artworks, but don't edit them. No. So that's one thing. The next thing is this card, even if it would get into the game, would be removed. And also, as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, you know why I mentioned that, because this is basically a mechanical ripoff of Ultra Athletes from Yu-Gi-Oh. And everyone who knew the thing with Aria/Daria, with that card being completely removed from the collection, this would happen the same the moment someone pointed that out to Nick. Yeah. Because Ultra Athletes are basically based on different sports athletes that tag in and out from your hand. Regardless of cost. Sure, this card is extremely good, and with its future potential, it basically targeting any kind of elite card in your hand would allow you to play the 1-cost unit and get a 7-cost unit. Basically what Ultra Athletes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Already do. And since this is Midfielder, the 1-cost version, and we have unironically an Ultra Athlete Midfielder in Yu-Gi-Oh! That is basically the 1-cost version, because it's a 4-star creature or monster that does this exact job, but only targeting the hand. This is a really contentious, too close to an inspiration case. Other than that, nice idea, especially since tagging in and tagging out was a mechanic that people wanted to try out, like Cannibal. But no. Please don't. Rant over.
MT, any commentary to add on to that?
Yeah, it's hard to say whether this would be allowed or not, because we do have a lot of cards in Collective that are basically carbon copies of cards from other card games that haven't been removed. Like Forest of Cinders is just a file from Hearthstone with +3 cost.
But they didn't even scrub off the paint all the way.
But yeah, I think it's a sort of interesting effect.
Yeah. Wujek, anything?
This effect is definitely interesting and could definitely be something that could be explored in the future. I definitely do think that cards with this effect could be pretty neat. In fact, we've had a 2-cost 2/3 that when it attacks, it switches out to for another 2-cost unit from your deck before, I believe, on a separate. There's a lot of design space with this effect. Here's the thing, again, this is too close.
Yeah.
This is too close to Ultra Athlete Midfielder.
Yeah.
Just Ultra Athletes in general. Would it be allowed? Debatable.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, I mean, a lot of these cards, a lot of these effects you just can't, you know, Fireball. Fireball's gotta exist in one form or another. You can't really, but like doing something this specific, I think is definitely problematic.
Yeah, like we have a 3-cost draw too, because every card game has a 3-cost draw too.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's a copy of a 3-cost draw too from some other card game. But
yeah,
this is a bit too close.
Way too close. Okay. The Ruin Watcher. By the way, Dia, thank you so much for going out of your way to make all these fun new arts for these different realms. I've been enjoying a lot of them. Ruin Watcher is a 2-drop Spirit 2/2 Nightmare from Degenesis. Whenever a card enters your opponent's graveyard, you gain 1 HP, and at the end of turn, your opponent mills 1. Wujek, tell me what to think about this one.
It's a life gain card for mill.
That's good.
That's about it.
Yeah,
Which is,
a lot of that too.
Would that even help a mill deck?
Yeah, well, it needs a way to last, and I think maybe this is its lasting tool. Maybe you need 2 of these out. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, but the thing is that you don't really heal all that much with it. It's a spirit card. If you're playing this in a data mill deck, you basically have what, 1, 2, or 3 cards that can mill the opponent.
Yeah, the other thing that's problematic is that Rule 13, if you do manage to get a really impressive mill, you're not going to be able to get that trigger.
Yep.
Huh. Grief, tell me stuff.
You are so fixated on the mill part, but count in discard, count in unit destruction.
Oh, yeah.
This is basically a Greg that is partially better than a Greg, because Greg is based off drawing. This each turn allows you to mill stuff from your opponent and gives you 1 HP. And the Greg was a wildly played card in green back in the day. This sure has a delayed life gain part, but multiples of these just get you out of any harm's way when it comes to burn or aggro mirrors. Play this in Bullock, and every time you kill stuff from your opponent, you're just gaining more HP. Also, it's a nightmare that counts towards a nightmare engine.
That is fair.
One thing with this, though, is like, in Legacy, this with Rejoicing Berries is pretty nuts. Like, that's 2 cards that can make an archetype, almost.
I mean, everything in Legacy is pretty nuts.
That's true.
But, like, I don't think there's any other card that could proc Rejoicing Berries 5 times in a row off of 1 card play. So that's...
Not really.
Yeah. Like, this is probably the fastest procer for Rejoicing Berries in Legacy. I don't know. Do you have any other insights?
This is, like, very strong against any kind of aggro deck. Like, if they don't have an answer for this, like, you can just completely ignore whatever they're trying to do, because they will probably not be able to outmatch the healing and milling that you're doing, as long as this just stays out. Not to mention, like, every time they play an action, or, like Grief said, one of their units dies, you gain extra life. Like, at a certain point, you're just going to become unkillable.
Okay. So maybe this is better than I thought. Scary little guy. I do like the art. Okay, let's get into the interesting stuff. At least, just weird. Forbidden Delicacy is a 1-drop spirit food from nowhere in particular with feed. Give fed units +2/+2 permanently, then destroy them. My first thought is my beloved Unburial Site. This procking on, I don't care what you just procced on. It's going to come back, and it's going to come back many, many times and scarier. But, like, is this workable? Is this good? Who hasn't started in a bit? Who wants to go?
I can start.
Empty go.
I really love the flavor on this card. It's so cool having like this forbidden fruit that your units eat and then they die, but they get stronger. I'm not sure too much if this would really be played. I think the obvious card to play it with is Shinbone Jouster, because then you just get a 3/3 duelist. That's sort of a basic synergy. And then maybe, like you said, with Unburial Sites, you can play a few other units, or maybe something with Rebound, although then you do have to play it again. Yeah, just like a cool card for undead decks that has like some neat little interactions.
Yeah, but, you know, little baby sweet scent Kodama, I'm willing to give up Rebound to get a 3/3 life pounder on like turn, I guess it'd be turn 3. But it's only 1 mana. I don't know. Wujek, what you got?
Well, Sweet Scent Kodama, Sweet Scent Kodama, Shinbo Janster, those are the obvious targets for this. Obviously, if you can have a unit just constantly give itself rebound, then this is just an infinite loop. We've had that with flips, with combo meal.
Oh yeah, this actually does the beefy burger side and the hot fries side and lets you. Ooh, I like that.
Which might be scary. It's really cute with Zik.
Yes.
Which, Grief, you buffed Zik. You like Zik. You know how cute this is with Zik. Just get Zik in the graveyard and you can resurrect him, have him die again, and just get buffed and buffed and buffed. It's not a good synergy, but it's cute.
So I think Zik is legacy pool, right?
No,
Zik
it's
is standard.
Oh,
he
standard?
needs at least one more buff until he's actually playable, but now he's actually enjoyable to play.
It's worth noting that Zik stacks with himself, so his effect doubles every time he dies.
Yeah, he grows exponentially.
Oh.
people didn't really get behind it, and I even pointed that out. Do you want Zik to grow exponentially? Yes. Okay, then let's do that update.
Yeah, I kind of wonder how many times he'll die until he like crashes the game.
Yeah. Grief. So tell me more about this thing. Do you think this is a good card?
This is actually really interesting, especially as MD pointed out, with everything that has a rebound or is an undead dude. I mean, Revenant and Brood that get themselves back into the game. If you're going as far as putting that stuff into a deck with KM or playing it in Penumbra with another Mind Hero to allow your birdie to get more stats out of it, and I'm sure that this thing has many uses. And if you really just want to proc, if you want to proc Entombs really, really badly and as fast as you can, you have your one cost option for that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think this is a really good versatile toolkit. You guys really sold me on this, and it's doing pretty well. And I think this is a new player, so good luck to you.
It's also worth noting that this is a really cute self-sack enabler, but just instantly destroying your units.
And we need more sack engines. Like, even, like, I like sack engines. Okay. Rutilus, the Patron of Fire, which you guys have probably been waiting for, and for some reason it's not showing, so we're going to have to click over here. It's got a lot of text, so that probably helps. Rutilus, the Patron of Fire, is an 8-drop strength, 6/7 dragon from Talera with flying. Summon, play Skies Ablaze twice. At the start of your turn, if the top card of your deck is a dragon, play Skies Ablaze twice. Entomb, herald for each Skies Ablaze in your graveyard, draw a card. What is this Skies Ablaze thing? It is a 2-drop strength action from Talera, not that the cost matters, with Deal 1 damage to 3 random enemies. So this is... I actually haven't seen this card or really paid too much attention to it. I've seen earlier iterations of it. I'd like to believe that they could just, like, make Skies Ablaze, like, just play it once each time, but whatever. This is scary. This is Plasma Dragon on steroids on steroids. Do we want this? Is this?
Yes.
We want this? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. I'm just going to cave to peer pressure and say we want this. Woo, we want it so bad. Wujek, you go first.
This is the big dragon payoff we needed. I love this card. I love everything about this card. I've already talked enough about this card, but I'm just going to repeat myself. First of all, with you saying that this could just cast Skies Ablaze once, believe it or not, it used to do that only once on the summon. That actually was a bit weak. Funnily enough. Here's another thing. This hits 3 random enemies, not 3 damage randomly split among all enemies. So, if there's only 1 unit, also this can hit the opponent's face. If there's only 1 unit or no units, it won't deal its maximum damage.
Okay.
Second footnote, this stacks with itself. As in, the first Rutilus that you play, let's say it just dies instantly, it doesn't get the start of turn effect, it will herald for 2. Next one will herald for 4, then herald for 6, which is really cute. And one thing that's very important to note, this is a start of turn effect, not an end of turn effect, which means that it can instantly interact with unit level up rewards, which I think is very interesting.
Oh god, that makes me sick to hear you say that. Oh no, what?
So if this is in play and Corsairs enter play, this can hit them twice.
Of course, a lot of the later game unit end of turn effects are not going to get killed off of this, but that is mean.
That being said, you got a note. This requires you to run a dragon deck. Right now, even though people have been trying to make a dragon deck work, there is not really enough tools. I've actually played a lot with this card, just in custom card matches. It's really good when you can get its effect off consistently, which right now in standard there are not enough effects that allow you to get its effect off consistently. The Scouring Totem is very good for this, obviously, the Dragon Totem. And basically any Scour effect helps tremendously. But you have to run a lot of bad dragons.
Yeah.
Because there just aren't enough good dragons right now. You have Intrusive Housekeeper, now Misfortune Dragon. Kite Dragon is very debatable as an inclusion in a dragon deck, even though, yes, it is direct dragon support, it just doesn't do enough. If this gets in, maybe like 1 or 2 more dragons need to get in for dragon decks to be viable.
And those are more like role fillers.
Yeah, essentially. Like, dragon decks right now really just need strong dragons.
Okay.
And this card, because this is the late game payoff that everyone wanted. I think at least, I don't know. I haven't heard anyone actually say that this card is a bad design ever. It's so...
I just think the little incongruity with the twice, but I guess if that's the way it ought to ramp, I don't know. I haven't played around a lot with it. I do like how the flavor text appears to be a callback to flavor text I've seen on like the False Prophet and stuff, so that's cool. I would be interested to kind of page through the Tolaria designs and figure out what's going on.
It's actually the reverse of that. False Prophet was a reference to Rutilus. Rutilus was created first.
But yeah, I like that. I want to see a cycle of those. Grief, talk to me.
I want that card in the game.
Okay.
So badly. I've talked about dragons on multiple occasions. And let's face it, the Tyrant Dragon niche of dragons have been a failure for the longest time. So please, folks, reach out a helping hand and support your friendly neighborhood dragon tribe. Vote for this card, so that once in a lifetime, a collective bloke can finally finish a game with a good dragon finisher. Please call us on the number displayed in the description below.
Empty.
Thank you.
Empty, any more to add?
Yeah, I really like this version of the card. I saw some of the initial designs, and I think this is my favorite one out of the bunch. And like Reef said, having dragon decks actually be viable for once would make me very happy.
Okay.
Just one random thing to add that I find really funny. The text doesn't fit right now in the card box.
Yeah, on the
Yes,
subreddit.
it's slightly annoying.
But funnily enough, if the dot after twice was removed, it would fit. I know because I've actually made this edit as well. So literally a dot makes it not fit. A
Okay.
period, whatever.
Into your
Forget about the
picks.
English word for it. Oh.
Okay, another Enzu design.
I told Chris to prepare mentally for this in advance.
No, I'm gonna be the one flipping out on this.
This is my pick for a very good reason.
Like, is that all you did this for, was to torture us? Like, I had nice things to say about weeds. Go check the tapes. Like, this is just...
No, I didn't want to torture you.
This has no...
We give feedback.
I have to read the card for the people who don't have the video going. Tower of Babel is a 3-drop, neutral, action from nowhere in particular, makes the card text on all cards unreadable. I get that this is cute. This is an uncard design. I just don't think we need this. I don't even think it's like, first of all, it's not even useful. Like, this is like Boulder. People know what their own cards do. This is just punishing people for not knowing what... Okay, I need somebody to talk about this. I'll let you...
I'm gonna talk about this because...
You're gonna talk about this, Wujek. Talk about this.
You asked if we need this in the game. And the answer, obviously, is no. We do not need this in the game. This is an effect that should never, ever be in the game. Any version of this effect of making all card text unreadable should never appear in any card game, period. I'm saying this because if you scroll down, Usu, the creator of this card, mentioned that he might change it to only affect yourself and give you a reward for knowing your card. No, that is a terrible idea. Don't. Period. This effect is bad. This effect, all it does is it punishes new players for being new. You don't know all the cards. Yeah, you can just go play a different card game. This is not your place.
Yeah, it's just... So...
Second thing, fun fact, if anyone looked at this card's blocks, all it does is it puts some Portuguese gibberish on the card deck. Why? I don't know, but it does it. If someone here speaks Portuguese and can translate that gibberish, please do. I want to know what the fuck it says.
Okay. I think I've calmed down now. Grief. Tell me, should this card be in the game?
Power of Babel does not exist. It cannot hurt you.
Okay.
Next.
Are we done? Are we done?
This card is at the point where I think even if it got voted in, I'm not sure if Nick would even allow it, because it exists purely to make new players' lives miserable, which I think is not really their goal with design right now.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a cute attempt.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
there wasn't even an attempt. Let's be honest.
the flavor is maybe okay a thing. The flavor's a thing.
I mean, I like the reference to the biblical Tower of Babel.
Yeah. You found a neat way to convey the flavor of the Tower of Babel, and the card has no functionality here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice. If you were doing this and hoping the card to get in, I think you need to think more about like what designs the game needs, and especially like stuff like getting new players into the fold.
Here's the thing. It doesn't even fit the flavor. It just puts Portuguese gibberish on the card.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sorry for going off there. Last card, and then we're done. And we got a fun Dia art again, and it's got a Needler from Halo. Oh. Hydraxi Cannoneer is a 2-drop Spirit 2/3 alien from Debello. With active, for each keyword among your units, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. Lose this active. So Dia was going around making a bunch of fun realm arts. I love the arts. I said we would get back to them. This is it. Oh, wait, the use of the word needler is probably bad there. Here, I would revisit that. We just talked about potential copyright infringement. That's bad. I was just joking. I didn't notice they actually said that in the flavor text. Is the effect good, though? Grief, is the effect good, though?
It's something. I mean, you get it off once, maybe deal up to, 5 damage, 6 damage with your Hiku. Otherwise, it's cute. You're getting a 2-mana 2/3 unit that is basically vanilla after its first activation, after it burned for 3 damage or 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it means for each keyword among your units or for each keyword on each unit, maybe? If it did that, it would be pretty insane. I don't know. Wujek, why'd you pick this card?
I played this card because this is actual payoff for getting a lot of keywords on your cards in a Hydraxi deck, if that ever happens, rather than just having a lot of keywords on your cards. It's also very cute with Hiku, obviously. Hiku can just give all cards in your hand a lot of keywords. You can play this. You can deal like, I'd say 5 to 7 damage on average if you play this after Hiku. However, this card has one pretty big problem with it, that a lot of future Hydraxi payoff cards will also suffer from. Hydraxi cards don't have keywords on them.
Yeah. Fun fact. So like Hydraxi, and that's something that maybe they need their critical mass, right? So currently they're not a tribal alien deck. They're a
Keyword matters.
In a keyword soup deck. And hopefully one day they grow beyond that, they get some of those critical keywords onto themselves, and then grow from there. I don't know. Grief?
It's cute. Empty, do you have anything to say about it?
Not too much. I kind of like the idea of giving it deadly with maybe like a Hiku trigger or a deadly Nightshade. It's sort of interesting.
Usually I don't know why I missed that.
There is the other Hydraxi card, the Hydraxi Grunt, that adds like a little 1-drops to your hand, and that's sort of more of a thing to let you like really spread out and get all those keywords to work with this.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe a little bit of workshopping for each keyword among each of your units would probably be nuts. Probably be too bad, right? Or too good, right? I don't know.
It'd
be very strong with Hiku if you could get the trigger off.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be very strong with Hiku. It would be disgusting with Hiku. I'm just gonna say this straight up. I've played a lot against Hiku in yesterday's tourney. You can very easily get like 4 units with 5 keywords each.
I mean, if this would really count every keyword on the board that you control, this would be a delayed and stronger version of Aragos. That's sick.
I
Thing is, no, it would be a delayed version of Argos with Deadly.
Yeah,
because
with Deadly
one thing
and
with
Lifestone.
Argos' effect, you cannot give him Deadly. He just
That's true.
casts actions.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, copyright infringement. Please fix that. The card is cute. I like it. But
Yeah.
in its current state, if it would get into the game, it might just get limboed because copyright.
I think that the image is fine, honestly. It's
Yeah.
similar. I think that
It's
the call out on the flavor text is a problem.
the image is at most a neat little reference.
Yeah, and
But
that's
that-
fine.
The flavor text literally references the
Mhm.
needler and the word, and it's just not okay.
But yeah, like alien tech with crystals growing out of it is like since time immemorial. That's been a thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, I think I'm gonna close out the share. We don't have any more cards. I don't think we did good. So this episode was great. I had a fun. I was pretty high energy today, so I apologize to my panel.
We had our highs and lows with our card choices. Some were great designs, some less so. Some were copyright infringements.
I didn't even know the midfielder thing. I thought it was funny because all 3 of you knew that card.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I only knew that card because Grief showed it to me before the show.
Fair enough. I felt like the odd kid out. Anyways, so thank you all. Thank you guys all always for watching. Thank you to my co-host Grief for joining me. Empty Folder. It's gonna be really great having you on as a regular panelist. And thank you for Wujek for joining us today. You were a great guest, and I had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Remember,
It's lots of fun.
Yeah. Remember also to check out in the description below, we're going to have the link to LunaticDancer's little project, the music project. Check that out. It's really fun. It'll probably have like 3 or 4 by the time you get, or more by the time that this video gets up, or by the time you're watching it. So, as always, keep playing collective, execute your right to vote, and like, comment, and subscribe to remind me why I'm doing this. Bye.
Bye,
Don't vote Tower of Babel.
folks.